You're listening to Mind Over Money. Welcome. We're back from our short break. I'm Lachy Nicolson, and I'm joined by Archie, Franz, and Tim Evans. G'day, gents.
How's it going, Lachy?
Hey, Lachlan. Hey, Tim.
Start off with another banger intro.
Our original.
All the guys.
So today, we're talking about how we can achieve the best outcomes for our lives by stepping outside our comfort zone and learning to trust others. Australians, we all want to succeed. We want to get ahead. We want to live the good life. But we also love to do things ourselves. We love the DIY Bunnings runs and projects. We often avoid experts unless it's dire and it's probably free. And we try to figure everything out ourselves. And this can pose some problems to us getting ahead. Now, before we start today's conversation, I should mention, since we last all of us spoke on the pod, we did make a few changes at Waymaker. We changed the name of our advocacy program to financial coaching to reflect what it is that we're doing at Waymaker. So, Archie, maybe we'll start with you. Can you explain to us, what is a financial coach? Why did we change the name of the program to financial coaching from advocacy? And how can a coach help us succeed?
Well, I suppose if we go back in time, we called it advocacy because we didn't want to call it coaching. And
that's true. Yeah.
So basically, we've just changed the name, so it's a bit more.
We're coming full circle.
Yeah, it's a bit easier to understand, and also to help us refocus again on what we're actually out to achieve here. So coaching is really about empowering people to be in charge of their own finances, their own situation. And so as a coach, we're not there to tell you what to do. We're there to help you, bring about change and, make decisions yourself and be in control of your own destiny. So that's a big part of, what coaching is about there. And basically, Australians don't set goals. So whether it's short-term or long-term goals, Aussies just don't do that. That's reflected in the research that shows that for most Aussies, they don't get through to retirement with a plan and with their finances in order. Basically, 95% of Aussies aren't ready for retirement. And so that means that, we're just making things up as we go.
In terms of financial coaching and that pivot, I think it's pretty exciting. And it's because recently I joined a gym, probably something I don't want to say, but I got some coaching on the squat, and I'm quite tall and have long femurs, I found out, and it looks different to what normal people do, but it was quite interesting. And I think it's the same with our finances. Everyone has a different starting point. Everyone has a different background. Everyone has different goals. That's why you need someone to kind of sort through the mess. And the difference is maybe you can get a lot of, not that you're a mess. Archie's laughing. We're all a mess. I'm a mess. That's for sure. But I think when you're in it, you can't really see clearly sometimes, and to have someone come alongside and say, hey, you're missing this, you're missing that. If you change this thing, you're in this unique position to do this cool thing. Have you considered this, considered that? And I think that whole process and that mind shift of what we're doing is I think really helpful for people. And at the end of the day, it's people's lives that they're responsible, and the coach is there to help achieve those outcomes. I love the new framing and the new wording. Excited to see what the next kind of season looks like. But I think it's been really good over this last few months.
Yeah. The other thing is we got to clarify what goals are and what are real goals, because I think you mentioned before there, Tim, before we started the podcast, having a SMART goal, and I honestly still can't get that acronym. So do you remember what the acronym stands for? Like a SMART goal? So it's
specific,
specific, measurable,
actionable.
Yeah.
Some people say risky.
Realistic.
Some people say
Yeah,
risky. There's different variations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And time frame.
Or time bound.
Yeah, time bound.
Yeah.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah. Because over the years, whenever I've asked people about goals and setting goals, usually the goal is how fast can I spend my money? And,
Right.
because the goals I get back are things like, I want to go on a trip, I want a holiday, I want to buy a new TV, I want to buy a boat. It's all about buying and spending. And, finances is just so much bigger than that.
Sure.
And so as a coach, that's what we want to do is we want to bring out and help you work through, okay, what's an actual financial goal that's going to suit you and your circumstances, and help you work through that and get it to that smart description. And that takes time. It takes questioning, it takes listening and understanding, and it takes time. We can't get to it straight away. So, which leads to our next problem, which is, all this clickbait that's out there and all this stuff that's on the internet, that keeps us locked into a certain way of thinking and a certain way of operating. And that stuff can really keep us stuck.
Maybe that's a symptom of that we don't have a plan, we don't have goals, a lot of us. And so we are susceptible to whatever we feel in the moment, and that's where the clickbait and the marketing can really take us off course. Or we have, our goals then align with whatever we're being fed, and that changes every couple of months because there's always some new offer, buy this, do this, try that strategy. And like you said, people are just jumping between different goals in air marks, quotation goals. And over the long term, not really getting ahead, not really achieving that success, that fulfilled, meaningful life, which we're trying to, I guess we're aiming towards. That's what we're talking about here today. What do we need to do to get that good life that we're looking for? And how does Waymaker fit into that with coaching?
Yeah. Like even when we're talking about, like I said before, the stats show that 95% of Australians aren't ready for retirement. What I'm saying there is that they haven't got a plan. They don't know what to do. They don't know where the money's going to come from. And just recently helping someone over the last 3 years put together a plan and actually move into retirement. And their plan looks so different to everyone else's plan because their plan is specific to them and what they want. And it's taken 3 years to work that through and get them to a place. And you can't get the smile off their face. They're just so excited that they know what they're doing. They know how it all works now. And they've got the goals and they've been putting things in place over the last 3 years that's made it all happen. That's the sort of thing we're talking about here is, getting to a point where you're happy, that you can understand that you're in charge of what's going on.
I think I love the way we start the program is we start with values, not even goals.
Yeah.
And I think people in the first session are kind of taken aback, like, oh, where's the budget sheet? What's really important, because every kind of decision flows out of there. And that obviously evolves over time because people don't even understand what their values are. It's kind of sometimes it's a deep conversation and it probably could take a few years to figure out. But I think that's so everything through that lens of, okay, what is valuable in life to you?
Like we used to say years ago, and we've probably said it many times on the podcast, is we don't know what we don't know. Sometimes we've got stuff inside us that we just don't know. We've got records playing and we just don't even realize that, there's this internal record playing that's keeping us locked into a place that we don't want to be. And so it could be, you've grown up in a family where there's lack of security and therefore, the ability to be able to trust just isn't there. And so that ability, or inability to trust means that, you're not getting an expert person involved in your life to help you move forward because you can't trust people.
Sure.
So, being able to find out what is that record that's playing? What is it that, is going through our minds? And that's what a coach is there to help do, is to help bring out what's happening inside, what's happening in our thinking. And once you're aware of it, you can change it.
So we've been listening to our clients, our members, talk to us about how they relate to us at Waymaker. And there have been some people that thought we were going to give them financial advice. And we've made that clear that we're not here to do that. We have partners that do that. Our expert partners we connect people to. What is the specific purpose of Waymaker in the financial community? When we're talking about building a team, we've talked about this many times, about building a community of trusted experts around us to help us achieve our goals. So where does Waymaker fit in that financial community, Archie? To get that really clear for people listening who want to work with us and do financial coaching, where does that kind of fit in their world and in the community at large?
Yeah, so at Waymaker, we're looking constantly to connect with other trusted experts, because there will come time when you're making up your goals and you're working through what you're wanting to achieve and what your next steps are, that you are going to need some sort of support. So you're going to need some sort of expert help there. That could be just sorting out your credit file. It could be just sorting out your cash flow, so that it could be that groceries is chewing all your money. So, we've got an expert there that can help sort out your grocery situation. There's many different areas around finances. It's not just about superannuation or investments. There's a lot of things that impact our finances and the way we think. So we want to be in a place where we're bringing out what it is that needs to be worked on so that you can achieve your goals and what's important to you in your life. And then setting you up with the right people to help you take those next steps.
So good.
I love that. I think something I've discovered is helping people overcome those roadblocks and those issues is so huge, because there's a few things that stop people, but just indecision, and a challenge comes up and you just throw your hands up and that's not for me. But I've been surprised time and time again at, no, you keep going and you do get through and you can figure it out. That's like what I love about the coaching process, is encouraging people to keep going.
Like if you think about a team sport, and the team isn't always winning, right? And so the coach is there to help the team figure out what is the problem, what things do we need to work on, what are the basics that we need to keep focusing on and keep doing. And, and if we have a failure, that's okay. Let's keep going. It's okay to have failures. It's okay to get beaten, when you're playing a team sport, because that's how you learn. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to really help people to do, is to really learn, understand themselves, understand the financial world, understand, what risks they can take. And when they, when things do change dramatically, life's full of hiccups. And, it can change dramatically very quickly. Especially if someone, suddenly passes away, or if you suddenly lose a job, or, there's an economic crisis, or there's an outbreak of COVID. It's like, things can change very fast. And so it's then finding a way to navigate through that change, and find what's important for you. Yeah.
I love that. I see Waymaker at the start of the journey, where helping people, actually, it's kind of the hardest thing to do. Like you said, helping people understand their situation, understand themselves and how they're operating. And then with all of that clear, finding ways forward, helping people find their way in life, because everyone's opportunities and what they can do with their life right now is unique to them. And so we often look to the headlines of what other people are doing, or whatever we see online, or maybe I should do that. But we may be missing something that we can do in our situation right here and now that's unique to us and can put us in a really good place. And it's coming back to, again, what's important to us and our deep values. So we're doing all of that work, which is actually the hardest thing to do. And not really many businesses are out there doing that in the financial community. So I love that we're doing that. It's very important. But then we don't stop there. We're with you the whole journey. We're with you as the coach, helping you navigate forward from that into, compounding success and growth. And in the ups and in the downs, like any good community, you want people with you on the journey to keep encouraging you. And so let's just finish with talking about the journey of Waymaker now, as someone may be coming into coaching for the first time, or a current clients doing coaching. What's the experience and what's the experience going to look like in that, maybe let's say the first year? And also what are we expecting as well? It's a two-way relationship. What are we expecting from clients to be committing to when they do coaching?
So we've probably learnt that there's no fast road when it comes to coaching. And that's okay.
No accelerator. No accelerators.
So they get rich quick. And I think everyone's hopeful. And obviously everyone's on a different run of the ladder at the starting point.
Do you know how you get rich quick, Tim? You sell a get rich quick course. I'm pretty sure that's how.
I'll just wait till the end of the podcast. But I think that can be disappointing to people. Like they're looking for the little tax saving, or the good thing is it's the simple things that compound over time. But it's doing simple things is not always simple. It's not always easy. But I guess we've definitely learned that you need to slow down, process. This podcast is called Mind Over Money because the way that we think about our finances is almost more important than what we do. And it's definitely more important because that's kind of the seeds of everything that we then go and do. So I guess we've definitely found, slowing down, working through the mindsets, discovering, the unique situations and those inner values and the different problems, and then finding ways forward. I think we're getting better at helping people through that process to understand themselves and their situation, their goals. So
the other thing is getting some tools up and running that we learn how to use over the first year. And so those tools are actually being able to look at our finances, both from a banking point of view, but also from a strategy point of view. And so we have a couple of tools there that we introduce and get people working on in the first year. And the other thing that we've learned is that it does take relationship to be able to do coaching well, because relationship builds trust, and it takes trust to be able to make changes. And so it's not us telling you what to do, it's us helping you work through problems, work through situations, and you finding, what you're going to do and take action on. So that means, regular catch-ups where we're actually looking at what's happened, how we're going, and, what do we need to focus on over the next 3 months. And keeping it simple, like Tim, like you just said, is keep it simple and keep the focus and keep tracking what's going on.
It's amazing, and the research has shown this, but catching up with someone every 3 months, even if it's just for half an hour to an hour, and revisiting, okay, what did we learn? What went right? What went wrong? Okay, let's maybe reset or adjust this and keep going. You do that throughout the year and you are more likely to achieve your goals and be successful versus avoiding catching up with someone, avoiding or leaving it for a whole year and then feeling bad. Oh, I didn't do this or that didn't happen. Disappointment sets in, distraction sets in. So we're moving to this 3 month, ideally 3 month cadence with touching base with people to encourage them. These are great sessions together that should inspire you, re-energize you, keep you focused, and keep you winning. And your coach is there to encourage and support you in those sessions. So if any of our clients listening, you get that text message to book in a session with your coach, book it in. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good session, and we're going to be able to keep you moving forward.
For people in the program right now doing coaching, or maybe people thinking about it, what's the best attitude to bring to it? Like the best mindset and expectations, would you say? How can someone get ready to be coached? Because not everyone's always ready to be coached, but I think, which means I guess it's not for everyone, but if you're in that position, you're like, I want to go forward and be a bit vulnerable and extend a bit of trust, which I know is not an easy thing to do. I guess what's the best mindset to come to it with? Yeah,
look, the first thing is to book in a Zoom session with myself or yourself, Tim, or Lachlan, and just meet us. So, you might be listening to us on the podcast and, getting an idea of how we talk and how we are, but there's nothing like a face-to-face with a Zoom meeting. And the reason we do Zoom meetings is that it's too time-consuming to travel nowadays. And, we can achieve so much more by looking at things together on a computer together, being able to share our screens and work things through and set things up. So But it is that initial meeting. Have the initial meeting or have the regular catch up. So if you haven't caught up with us for a while, catch up with us again. And, let's find out how you're doing, what's going on, and get that connection happening. Because out of trust, we can actually start working together.
Do you think it's ever too early or too late to start coaching?
Okay. I've got people there that are in their 70s coming up to 80s. They still love catching up with me regularly. We're still always working through things that change and happen, and we're still making a really good impact on their lives, and they're still smiling.
Yeah. We've also had some really young people come through and do really well and set themselves up. And I think they'll be really happy with themselves when they get a bit older and they go, wow, I started early. That was so good.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, opportunities come along. So we can talk about the negatives of, things will happen. That's the negative side. But there's also the positive side of things will happen. And so opportunities happen where suddenly we're in a position to be able to buy a property, or suddenly we're in a position where our job has changed and it's a better job and a better income. And so we can be discussing, okay, what does that look like now? And how do we process that one? Because people have come to me in the past who've said to me, that they've received these really good opportunities and then they've come out of it worse off. Right. So it's very easy to come out worse off after you get a good opportunity rather than something negative.
Yeah.
And it's because, we can suddenly jump into something that we think that we're ready for, but we're not ready for. And it might have just been because a pay rise or a new job, triggered us to believe that we're in a better position and we could do something.
All right, so let's summarize. So today we talked about what a financial coach is. We've talked about how Australians, most of us don't have a really clear plan for our finances, but we can work with people to get that plan in place, to have focus and be focused on the right goals that are actually going to serve us in our life. We talked about Waymaker's, specific purpose within the financial community to help people find their way forward with their finances, to coach them, to connect them to the right people and the partners. I guess back to your thing, Tim, when you signed up for the PT at the gym, sometimes we don't know we need a PT. We don't know we need a coach until we sign up. And then we realize, I can see this now. I get the value. And it's all about that. The best coach actually gets you empowered to learn and grow yourself. They're teaching you the tools and the skills to grow and succeed. So I think that's great. I think that's maybe cleared it up a little bit for people who've been on the journey with us, but not quite sure what we're up to at Waymaker, because we also have a mortgage broking team, and but we're coming back to that center focus of coaching, helping Australians find their way forward. Yeah. So good.
That's it.
All right. Well, as always, today is not financial advice. Don't listen to a podcast for that. Work with a professional to get advice tailored to your situation, whether that be around investing, property, business tax. You can always head to our website at waymakerfinance.com.au to connect with us, or we can put you in touch with a great partner in each of those areas. All right. Thanks, Archie. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah. Thanks, Lachlan. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.